Greetings from the apocalypse. So this is day 3 of ring sizing. I've got my ring all soldered together and it looks really good. I'll show you a little close-up of it. But now I'm going to show you the wheel that I use to clean it up, which is the fastest and easiest way. Since I'm not at home to use my micro torque, Alexis is very kindly lending me her micro torque, which is like a flex shaft but a little fancier. Basically, you slide it in there just like that and tighten it and it's closed. And what I like using it for is everything. And you get to adjust the speed instead of using the foot pedal. So you can just set a certain speed and just have it at that, and it's much more steady. And here, I'll turn it on and show you. There's like, see, it's spinning. There's hardly any vibration, so it's very controllable. So here's my ring, and there's my solder seam. And I'll flip it over so you can see the inside as well. So I'm gonna need to smooth all that out and get rid of the excess and kind of blend it all together. And I'm gonna show you with the wheel I've been using for a long time. That's my favorite. So this is the white silicone wheel that I use the most. I find it's just aggressive enough to get rid of the seam and it leaves a really smooth finish. So this is like my go-to. I mean, I use a lot of different wheels, but this is definitely one that I use probably more than all the rest. So as always, when using the flex shaft, my hands are really braced and my forearms on the table so that I have lots of control. I'm gonna go in here. And I kind of do it like I'm peeling a vegetable. And I'll do a little from the top. You can probably see that a little bit better. And you see how I just stroke it, and take a look. You see how it's aggressive enough to remove the metal, but it leaves a relatively smooth and shiny finish. I mean, that's why this wheel is basically the shit, because most wheels will either take away or they'll leave a fine finish, but one that will do basically both is kind of not a thing normally. And you notice how I don't keep it in one spot, and I'm not bouncing it up and down. I'm just stroking it like I'm peeling a carrot, and that's going to give me the smoothest effect. You see what I mean? So I'll do a little bit more, but also you see how quickly this works, so that's a huge plus as well. And this seam, I'm not trying to get perfectly flat. I really just want it to blend in with the rest of it. So I'm kind of just wanting that seam to disappear and blend in with the rest of the curves rather than making a real flat there. Okay, so take a look. And you can see the few strokes I did on the inside. It's not completely done, so I'll do a little bit more to get rid of the seam. But this happens pretty quick, which is, again, another reason why this wheel is a real favorite of mine. Now I can also use this to blend in this little area right here because this has an uneven edge, which is, you know, on purpose. But when I sawed out the section and put it back together, there's definitely like a little overhang there. So I can use this wheel to kind of grind that away and blend it in as well. And like any grinding wheel or anything you're using on the flex shaft, you want to wear a mask, which of course right now is not a problem because we're all wearing masks anyway, but eye protection too. So you see how that just blended that together? I think I'll do just a tiny bit more. There's still a little nick right there. So a big advantage of this wheel is that I can go right from this to final polish, or even just leave it the way it is. It leaves such a nice finish while still having enough grit to remove what you want to remove. That's what makes this, you know, kind of a Goldilocks wheel for me. Okay, so you see how little time that took, and let's see how it's all nice and smooth and shiny now. And honestly, like I could, you know, move to an even higher shine wheel, but I could just leave it just like that and it looks pretty darn good. So I just have a little bit more to do on the inside seam till it's completely cleaned up. But this is faster and easier than any other method I've ever tried of like filing and then sanding or anything like that. So this is my go-to wheel. Yeah, I think it's almost done. Maybe I'll give it a couple more swipes, but that's it. Okay, so basically that's it. It's all cleaned up. I'm going to go all the way around the inside now just to make sure that the entire interior, you know, has a smooth finish, but the seam is gone. And the seam is gone. So that's the fastest way to clean up that I know. So if I really wanted to bring it up to an extremely high shine, I can use the pink wheel, but literally you don't have to. You can see how shiny it gets just from the other wheel. You could stop just with one step and be fine, but I'll just show you using an even finer wheel, the finish you'll get. You see what I mean? That'll give you like a really high shine. You don't necessarily have to go for like mirror ball high gloss, but if you want to, all it takes is those two wheels, which is a lot faster than any of the multi-step processes you can also do. But who wants to waste your time? You see the shine you get? It's really nice. I particularly like the cylinder shape also for rings and for lots of other things, because basically it hits a lot of territory at once. If your wheel is too tiny, you're going to get a more uneven finish and it'll just take you a lot longer. So if you've got, you know, some broad surfaces like the inside of this ring, it's good to have a nice cylinder shape like this. So basically I can fool around with my ring a little bit more and polish up some of those little lower areas, but essentially my ring is clean and shiny and pretty, so I'm pretty happy with it. I could also just throw it in the tumbler if I wanted at this point, just to get in all the little nooks and crannies, but then after I have it cast, I will have the stone set in here.